That makes sense. Hi. Apologies. I'm probably gonna forget and walk around. Again, apologies. Um, Turn that off and do this instead. So thank you for coming to this presentation. Um, this is, as you can read, Supercharge your adult program with Canva and marketing tips. We hope that we give you the information that you're looking for, and if not, you're more than welcome to reach out to us. Ursula and I are very, oh yes, sorry, this is Ursula, I apologize. She's the co-presenting. But yes, we are willing to help and want to help, getting the word out about adult education and all of the possibilities for students, community members, all that sort of stuff. So let's begin. My name is Courtney Michu. I work over at Spruce Mountain Adult Education in Livermore Falls, Maine. I am the administrative assistant, but as we all know in adult ed, people wear many hats. So I also do the marketing and outreach. Basically, I obsess over Canva and I get to talk to people. That's something I really enjoy. And then we also have
Hi, I'm Ursula Stewart. I'm an adult learner. My kids were starting to get older, and as a stay-at-home mom, I needed to find something to do with my life. So I went to adult ed as someone with a GED. I was scared about college, and I didn't know what to do, but the local people at Spruce Mountain Adult Ed helped me, and I went to school for graphic design. Now I work for a technology company, and I work with Courtney at Spruce Mountain Adult Ed, making our catalogs. So this is what we put out for catalogs for classes and whatnot. And we've got some cool information to share with you. Our data from that and how you guys can apply that to your programs.
you can keep the microphone. I think it makes sense, right?
It's the button.
Learning new things every day, right? So we will pass, unfortunately, those two around. So you guys can check it out and see if you'd like. Yeah, if you want, yeah, go for it. I just want to let everybody know that there will be 2 question breaks that's built into our presentation. I'm the sort of person that doesn't have a very good memory, so I like to break things up so I can ask my question then instead of waiting until the end. So we ask that you hold on to your questions until those breaks so we can get through all the information and really dig in during the hands-on component for this presentation. So the goals for this session, as you can obviously read, building your program's brand. This helps with consistency across all marketing materials. Creating eye-catching content captures attention and will attract views and first touch points, which we will discuss and define. Marketing strategies, we'll talk about mapping out your marketing calendars and organizational tools that we utilize for that. And then, oh no, back that up, there we go. And then the hands-on activity portion where we will create content for a babysitting class. That's just so we can all have general information. We'll do a Facebook post and a printed flyer because those are 2 different things, different sizes and compatibilities. Okay. And this is you, Ursula.
So, why should people care about marketing? It elevates your program's visibility. Marketing spotlights your program, ensuring it isn't lost in the sea of information that people encounter daily. Just going like this on your phone, we've already seen 45 things. So we need to stand out, right? Consistent marketing puts your program in front of the right audience, students, parents, employers, and the broader community. This also helps with getting people to think about your program first. Visibility is the first step to building awareness and interest. Professional design increases engagement and enrollment. First impressions matter. People are more likely to stop and read, click a link, or sign up when something looks polished. A professional design draws people in and makes makes information easier to digest, leading to higher engagement and increased enrollment. It creates credibility and strong brand identity. Now you're going to hear us say brand a little bit, and you're thinking, oh, well, that's more companies. That's, not us. We're not selling anything. But you're going to find out that you are. You do have something to offer. You do have something to sell. So it creates credibility and strong brand identity. Consistent branding using the same colors, fonts, and logos builds recognition and trust. People associate those visuals with quality and reliability when your materials have a cohesive look. Over time, this creates a sense of credibility, making your program feel more established and professional. It tells your audience we're organized, we know what we're doing, and we're here to help you succeed. It ensures people get accurate information about your program. Marketing is communication. Clear messaging ensures people know your program's who, what, where, when, and why. It minimizes misunderstandings, reduces participation barriers, and ensures the correct information reaches the right people at the right time. Basically, you control the narrative of the program. So, so this also shows that you care about what you're doing. People will notice if the content is subpar and associate that with a lack of enthusiasm.
So please bear with us. I was just chatting on the Hoover app, and they can't see our slideshow, so we have to let them know when we're transitioning to the next slide. Yeah, fun times. All right. So we're moving on to the next slide. Proof marketing works. So marketing isn't just a theory. There are accurate results that back it up. This is the impact of professional design data from marketing research professionals. And just so everybody is aware, we did cite our sources. We do have them in a specific format on here, so if you would like that information, we do have it. That was the one thing I was like, we have to make sure we cite our sources. Yes, exactly, yes. I'm sure somebody would call us out. Consistent branding across all platforms can boost revenue up to 23%. Approximately 81% of marketers consider the quality of creative design as a crucial factor in marketing effectiveness. 81% of consumers must trust a brand to consider purchasing from it. And 60% of consumers avoid brands with unattractive logos, even with good reviews. So this is all well and good for the business world, right? And it's hard to transfer business language or to education. So we're moving on to the next slide. These are statistics from my location at Spruce Mountain Adult Education in Maine. First we'll discuss first touch points. In marketing, it refers to the first interactions a potential customer, or in this case, students, has with your brand or program. These are the initial moments where they become aware of what you offer, whether through social media, a flyer, or an email. First touch points set the tone for the relationship. Remember, first touch points set the tone for the relationship and are crucial for grabbing attention and sparking interest. So, as you can see, our graduates from 2020 to 2024 have increased 55% because we have focused on marketing. And again, marketing world is hard to translate to adult ed and its initiatives and all that. But think of it this way. You you are selling a product. Your product is you. Your product is your program. You're advocating for the students, what resources you have available. They need to know, and this is how you can get them to know. You can say anything and do anything, but your actions will speak louder than words. So we're moving on to the next slide. What is Canva? Ursula.
I don't know why I'm walking around with this. It's my comfort item. All right. What is Canva? So I'm sure, let me just see. How many people have used Canva? Awesome. How many people have used Adobe? Okay, so you guys know the difference, between like Adobe Photoshop or InDesign versus Canva. What's awesome about Canva is that it's accessible for everyone, especially for people that are in education. So it's a graphic design platform for easy professional design. That's what it says. So you can print off flyers, you can post on Facebook, Instagram, you can make videos, you can create whiteboards. There's so many options for you. But sometimes that's a little overwhelming for people. They just see all of it and they don't know where to go, what to start. Well, there's templates for all of that. So you can get pre-designed things and then, you can move them around, change the color and make it fit you. And it's drag and drop, so it's very easy. You don't have to mess around too much with it. You just grab it and move it where you want to. You don't have to know math, get all in there and do that. Even though that's what I do when I make designs, because that's what I do for work. But yeah, and we're talking about the freemium model. So they have free available, but they also have pro and education options. If you have education email that is within their program, which it covers a lot, you're able to get the pro features for free with the education model. I just kind of went off my brain, so all right. Yeah, I said everything. It's your turn. All right, here's Courtney. We didn't know how the room was going to be set up or anything, so we're really thankful for your patience.
Yes. Okay, so we moved on to the next slide. Building your program's brand. So building a strong, consistent brand identity is key to making a lasting impression and ensuring your program is easily recognizable. A well-established brand helps attract attention and builds trust with your audience. So with establishing a cohesive look, when people see the same visual identity, they associate that with your program and it strengthens your presence. Having a cohesive look across all marketing materials helps your program appear more professional and organized. So these are some things to consider: different logos, colors, fonts, photos, and your brand voice, which we'll go into detail in a bit. But having something consistent means that people are more likely to recognize it. Just like we all know with street lights, red means stop, yellow means slow down, green means go. We all know that because we see it every day. We drive our vehicles. So just, again, keep that in mind. Now, we moved on to the style sheet. Okay. We moved on to the style sheet slide. This is a document that outlines your program's visual identity and specific design elements and formatting rules. It serves as a guide to maintain consistency across all platforms. So as you can see, we have our fonts. I'm not even gonna pretend like I know what that says. For headings, body, we also have our main logo, our color palette, our logo mark, which is something where if you have like a smaller icon, you can put that in because your logo is not gonna fit, it's gonna look teeny tiny. And then our brand voice. A brand voice is, oh, hold on, that's the next slide. Moving on to the next slide. Oh, no, it's not.
Yeah, it's just a little bit about, go to the next.
So your brand voice basically reflect, oh my word, it has been a day. This,
Everyone take a breath.
right? All right, so your brand voice reflects your program's personality and values. It's how you communicate with your audience through words, style, and tone of your message. It can be formal, casual, friendly, or professional. It helps your audience connect with your brand and understand your program's mission. So again, with adult education, we have vast, levels of literacy and understanding from our students. So if you can find a happy medium with your brand voice, it can still be professional, but it can be fun. It can be witty. I like to throw in, some jokes every once in a while because it shows that there's humor, that we're people, not a robot, but to each his own. Um, and then your story. This is something that people, I don't want to sound weird, but this is something people eat up. Hearing where you've come from, hearing your side of how you became, sort of thing. It showcases that your program has grown over time and can help potential students feel inspired and motivated to join, knowing that they'll be part of something meaningful and continually improving. It's something where you can say like, oh, we opened in, this date and all this sort of stuff, but that's not going to help a student who is, a Gen Z. It's like, okay, what does that matter to me? You can talk about your resilience, how you started with nothing, how you built up this program and are helping and touching so many people's lives. Definitely do stuff like that. Because again, people eat it up. They love it. You all love it, right? And then this is something where Canva comes into play, where we talked about that style sheet. Canva has what's called a branding kit, where you can have your colors laid out, your logos, your fonts, and everything. And that's something that we will talk about and show you when we go into our hands-on activity, literally clicking into our branding kit and show how it's utilized with a click of a button. All right, now we've reached the point of a question break. So, does anybody have any questions so far that we can try and answer? Nothing? Oh, cool. All right, anything on the chat? Oh, yeah.
I don't know if this is every time I ask, but so for your catalogs, how do you distribute those?
Oh, okay. So we had a question of how to distribute the catalogs. We utilize a local printing business, and they have a certain level of or package basically of where they mail it out for us. Yes, and it's really nice because they print it, they package it up, they bring it to the post offices, and then it distributes from there. The only issue, not issue, but caveat that with that is if there's any extras, I go out and collect them from the post offices. So it doesn't go to the trash or whatever sort of thing. But it's easier in the long run. It is expensive, but we'll talk more about that in a bit. Yeah. Yeah, and sorry to go off topic, everybody, but I had a discussion with my director about that. Like, why? Why do we distribute catalogs? We're in a day and age of technology, so why bother? And where we live in Western Maine, we primarily have an older population that utilizes catalogs. And if they're not going to search for anything online because they don't have the technology skills to search for it. So when we create the catalog and it goes out, we get so many more phone calls. I had some numbers in regards to our registrations, and they jump significantly when we have our catalogs go out in comparison to when we don't, like within the hundreds. Yes. Oh, wow.
How do you decide what it goes to? You just go to houses?
So that's a good question. So just wondering, the question was, where is it distributed when they get mailed out? So we tell the printing company what towns we serve, and they give us a number of how many mailing addresses are there. So, yeah, and that's how many they print. Yes, yep. Oh, I have no idea. Oh. Oh. Oh, wow, we're really getting into this catalog. Um, Yeah, it is, it is. We can thank Ursula for that. I'm trying to think. It's
Very pretty, very well put together.
it's all Ursula, honestly. She's the one that, you know, yes, yes. Blood, sweat, and tears. So, any other questions in regards to the catalog before, yes? I'm sorry? The question was, how often do we send out the catalogs? When we have the money. Honestly, though, it's a significant amount. I'll just go into it. So with our catalog, like I said, it's a significant amount, and we are also a very small program. It is me, 2 instructors, and our director. And we have a bunch of workforce training instructors, but they are contracted employees. They're not full-time with us. And we have a night person, sorry. Anyway, so my director put it this way, as if we can enroll 4 CCMA individuals at $4,000 per student, it pays for the catalog. So with, $4,000, how many did I say? But regardless, if we can get to enough people to get to at least $12,000, it pays for the catalog. And we don't run a CCMA program unless we have 8 people. Yep, so if we get at least, I think I said 4 CCMA, so Certified Clinical Medical Assistants, if we get at least 4 of them at $4,000 per student enrolled in our program, it pays for our catalog. That's a whole nother question. But yes, well, it's more of like, it helps us sort of thing, kind of think about it. Is there a question online or?
Just make sure you're repeating the question.
Yes, sorry about that. We'll work on that. Any other catalog questions?
No, it's great.
Yeah, no, we wanna answer them, sure.
I just wondered, have you ever considered having sponsors for it so you didn't have to pay for it?
So the question was, if we ever considered having sponsors for the catalog. No, because.
It's like a gray area, I think.
Yes, yep. It's hard because we have a very well-known organization, and adult education is not in the brightest thoughts. Yes, so it's unfortunate, but we still persist, We're gonna be reaching out to people, telling them all of our stories, and, regardless of their thoughts. We wanna be self-sufficient. So,
You're essentially saying the community doesn't support.
not everybody,
Right.
it depends. So we don't wanna put ourselves in that
Sure.
situation where we can just, again, be self-sufficient. But I have thought about it and reaching out to organizations that do support us and all that sort of stuff. In some of the catalogs, you'll see that there is Yep, there's Ed2Go, but there's also our CCMA program. You'll see some CPR, first aid, youth mental health classes. We have a very strong partnership with our local hospital because of our CCMA program. It's literally a pipeline for them for a job. They enroll in our classes. We have instructors from the hospital come teach the course. And then they do their clinical hours there, they do their externship hours there, and then they apply and have a job, sort of thing. So they're very, very helpful, and we're very fortunate to have them. Maine Health, there we go. All right, anyway, anything else? Any other questions or anything? All right, now we go on to the next slide, creating eye-catching content.
Hi, me again. Yeah, so some of this stuff might be common knowledge, but hopefully you'll be able to pull something from it. We're gonna go over high quality images, negative space, clear communication, the 5 W's, call to action, that's a big marketing word or saying, I guess, and easy registration. Okay, we're gonna move to the next slide. Just talking about high quality images. So you can tell that the photo on the left is blurry. It's a low resolution photo, and the one on the right is a higher resolution photo. It may be common sense, but sometimes you're in a hurry and I'll just pick this picture, it doesn't matter. It really does matter. Make sure that you know, that they're in focus, that you have good lighting. Just take those extra few minutes to invest in that time, and you know, it'll prove beneficial for you. The next slide, creating visual harmony with negative space. So I created this slide for you guys to see what I see when I'm looking at a slide. So, you know, you have your margins, all that other stuff, but I also have some lines in here for where I want my headings to go, where I want, you know, my fonts to go. But you can also see our 2 little examples here. Now this can be a Facebook post design, this can be a flyer, this can be anything. Make sure you keep your hierarchy. That means, you know, keeping your heading bold, your subheading a little bit smaller, your body copy just a little smaller than that, but still make it legible. Make sure that you're drawing attention to key elements. You know, you look at the one on the left, yes, you can read everything. It looks fine. It has all the colors of the program or whatever, but you know that it's weird. There's something off about it, and that's what you're focusing on instead of looking at the information. That's another little hurdle that people have to get over to get into, you know, something about your program. So the less issues that are in the way, the easier it is for people to understand and to pursue that. You know, the one on the right is a little more put together than the one on the left, and just taking that little extra time to add in that breathing room, that space is really important. I like to say at work, so I'm my own manager. I'm like Kelly from The Office, you know. I'm difficult to manage. But no, not really. But all the other people that I work with are numbers tech guys. You know, they're out fixing the network computers and all that. I'm doing websites and design. If I make something for them, or they see something, there's something is wrong or off and they're not sure, they just don't like it, and I can pinpoint what's wrong with it. You know, the heading is too much to the left, there's too much of that. But it's just with practice. Yeah, so give your designs room to breathe. I love this slide so much. A clear message is a powerful message. Use clear and concise information about your program and when speaking to your students. So whether this is on Facebook and a flyer and a newsletter, in person, try not to add a lot of fluff words. Try not to add a lot of, you know, big words and, oh, you know, I'm this fancy pants person, which is great. It's okay to be a fancy pants person, but you know, you want to be able to relate to someone. You want to connect with them and not have that be in the way. I'm talking more about barriers and hurdles, right? Highlight the distinctive features that set your program apart. You know, we have a really great CCMA program and a lot of cool things happening at Spruce Mountain. And, you know, when I think actually today, so I do work with Spruce Mountain and I did go to Spruce Mountain Adult Ed, but today they have a new, oh my gosh, with the food. Yes, culinary arts program. The food, the good stuff. Culinary arts program, and they're going to be opening their cafe. So of course, you know, you want to post about that. You want to tell everybody what's going on. Be consistent. Deliver the same core message across all platforms, whether it's in person, on your flyers, on the internet. Deliver the same message. Have everyone be on the same page. Content is king. The picture, the information, but clarity is queen. That's how people can understand what's going on and move past just seeing your cool thing, right?
And together you have a kingdom.
Yeah, nice. All right, moving.
Can't claim that, I saw it somewhere else.
Yeah, it's okay. I like it. Okay, moving to the next slide, the 5 Ws. I am going to be moving in front of the screen because I can't help myself. So, is this working? So I set up on this slide who, obviously, what, when, where, why. So who, this builds trust with instructor details. If you have, you know, their name, why they're qualified, instead of just someone will be there to teach you. You know, this shows, oh, this is a valuable program. What clearly defines the class. We named a super sitters, first aid and CPR certified babysitting course. Says everything. It's got a cool name, first aid and CPR certified, which is your value items, and then that it's a babysitting course. You will notice that I have bolded some items. There can be essential and then there can be extra fluff, all depending on what type of information you're giving out, your delivery service. Like if you're making a big flyer, then you can put a lot of this stuff on. Dates. You can have, you know, the days out, have this, make sure the time and that is there prominently. That way people aren't searching for it. They're not, oh, I gotta look at the course, I gotta log online. No, it's just all right there. There's no barriers in the way. There's no things for them to have to do extra. They already have so much going on in their lives. Location, where, specify location or the online format, and in your why. Highlight the benefits and the value. Why do they care? Why should they show up? Become a sought after babysitter with first aid and CPR certification and the confidence to handle any situation. That makes me want to show up. I want to be confident when I'm, you know, babysitting kids. I have children and they scare me. I have teenagers, sorry, let me clarify, I have teenagers. So I did have some extra stuff down here, but it was just more. Oh, yeah. So I did have extra stuff down here, but it was just fluff. We didn't really need it. The bold items are the core information, and you can have all that information, but just make sure that you have the most important in front. Moving to the next slide. Okay, now what? Okay, you've told everybody all this stuff. They know where to go. Now, how do you get them to do what you want to do? Show up to the program. Let's see the basic call for more information. Who's gonna do that? Nobody. You know, okay, no, I don't want to. What about secure your spot? Oh, wait, why is there only, are they filling up fast? Limited spots available. Register today. Oh, okay, cool, yeah. Check out this one, career changers. Start your journey here. Doesn't that pull, oops, sorry guys. Doesn't that pull you in? I'm a career changer. I want to start my new journey. Get your questions answered. Yeah, I have tons of questions. I need someone to support me and help me figure this out. Invest in your future, enroll now. These are all action verbs, action words, whatever. But it gets people to know that you're caring and that it gets them like teasing, tasting, wanting that. Transform your career, learn more. Places are filling fast. Secure your spot today. All that is so much more grasping than call for more information. We already know that. We know call for more information. We already have that. So we got to pull people in a little bit. And moving to the next slide, kind of talked about this a little bit. Make things easy for people. Put a link on Facebook. Courtney and I were talking about this. Easy registration, link on Facebook. It goes to the school website. No, I want it to go right to the program that we are talking about. It says, sign up for this babysitting class. It just brings me to the website. I don't have time to search for that. I've already lost my wanting to fart around on this website thing. Bring it right to the class. Clear phone information, simple forms. You don't need to know so much information about people for certain things. Use QR codes. We've seen that everywhere today, how much that has been utilized. It works very well. People are quick to understand it. Make it simple, get more registrations, because that's what we want. We want people to know that we care, get registered, enroll, reach their goals. Okay, next slide.
Oh, no, thank you.
Nope.
No, sorry.
What's wrong?
Nothing, you're fine.
Okay.
No. I just wanted to give a little story about the easy registration. So in the beginning of my marketing journey, I just put the link to the website. I didn't put the link to the direct class. And we had a complaint. Somebody emailed my director saying that she clicked on the link, it went to the website, she couldn't figure out how to get to the class, and she tried and searched, and she just gave up because it wasn't easy. And she stated that it was not good that she had to search for it. It should be right there for her. And so moving forward, I put the direct link to the registration so that nobody gets lost and, potentially losing somebody's interest in our program.
You never know when someone is just like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it now. And sign up or whatever. And then something happens and it's not working. And okay, well, I'll do it tonight or tomorrow. And then it's 3 months later, and then they never do it. That's happened to me myself, So yeah, making it easy for people, getting rid of those hurdles, those barriers, and yeah. Next slide. Font clarity, readability matters. Oh, I know. Thank you. I'm such a good teacher. Anyways. Not really. I mean, you guys are way better than me. So this shows our hierarchy again. Okay, so our headline, title, bolded, bigger, subtitles a little smaller. Think of if you go on your newspaper websites, how they have it set up. That's how you should have your classes set up. Fancy, cool fonts. If this whole thing was in all those fonts, it would be so overwhelming. You wouldn't be able to read it, and it would be just frustrating and annoying, and you couldn't tell why, and you wanted to learn about this, but it's just all over the place, and it doesn't look professional. So just use them for, you can use them for a headline or title, or, your call to action as well. And next slide. We talked a little bit about this earlier. This is just a super quick template from Canva. I took this, added some of our information here, and refreshed it for the next class. It's got different colors, different dates, obviously, that's most important. But this builds the trust that you're looking for. This builds the consistency. I probably should say something that's on here. I feel like I'm missing something, but nope. But yeah, so I think that reusing these items, you think, oh, people will get sick of that. No, it's building that consistency. Babysitting class is coming again, it's on these dates, so people can trust that that's coming, and yeah.
It's also not reinventing the wheel.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Not reinventing the wheel.
Yes, so that you also don't have to. Sorry. So this, utilizing what you've already made, doesn't take too much time. It doesn't take too much energy, because we all have things to do, especially in adult ed. We don't have a lot of time to do, not small tasks, but I hope you understand what I mean by that. Just more or less, like, if you have it, you can use it again. Because like we mentioned earlier, scrolling through content, people might not remember the first image. They'll see it again for the first time. But it's different colors, different fonts, different information.
Okay, and the next slide. AI, your content assistant. So you can type into ChatGPT, Gemini, that's by Google, or Microsoft Copilot, whatever your company or programs use. The top two are free on different levels. So you can ask for, hey, we have this babysitting class come up. I need a compelling description and information for a Facebook post. So it will and bring it all up for you, and then you always review and make sure that it is what you want it to be. If, like me, I feel like I can write really, really well, but sometimes maybe it's just my inner little voice. That I'm not too great at public speaking. So maybe I will type into, hey, I'm trying to like boil down this, 3-sentence thing or whatever. Can you help me with that? And it'll help bring up words for you. Message tailoring for all platforms. Instagram's different than TikTok, so if you're going to make a video, you want things to be different for that. So you can say, hey, this is my material for Instagram. I need to transpose it for TikTok or whatever. What hashtag should I use? And it brings fresh content and tone adaptation. So if you have this whole thing written out, or your director has it written out about the class or something, and you can take that and put it into your AI and say, hey, we're looking for. You can take that brand voice. We can take. We're looking for fresh education, fun. We're here for you. Show support, and it can whip out 4 or 5 options for you to choose from, and you can pick it out and find what works best for your program. Next slide, I think, marketing strategies.
My turn. All right. So, whoa. Yeah, it's all good. All right. Marketing strategies. We'll try and get through this as fast as possible so we can do the more hands-on stuff. But effective marketing is all about timing and organization. By scheduling posts strategically, staying consistent, and keeping your content organized, you can reach your audience at the right time with the right message. So with digital, we'll talk about digital scheduling for print materials, and different organizational tools. For scheduling and posting, there we go. Yeah, okay. For scheduling and posting, we move on to that slide. For digital content, you can utilize Meta Business Suite, Canva Content Planner as well. What's really good about these tools is that you can plan ahead, sort of thing. So like holidays or vacations, when you're going to be closed, you get that calendar in the beginning of the year. You can throw that in every month with Meta Business and Canva Content Calendar. You can throw it in for the entire year. Fun facts. You can, with Meta Business, you can tag organizations and different businesses so that they know that certain things are coming. I like to tag our local towns, their town Facebook pages. because we serve those towns, and everybody sees their town Facebook sites. And you can also connect to Instagram. And then with Canva content, you can do on multiple platforms, not just Facebook and Instagram. And then best times, or engagement timeframes, there we go, wow. My question to you all is, when do you check your phones during the day? It's kind of a rhetorical statement. You check it a lot, unfortunately, but most times morning, lunch break, and evening. So right after you're waking up, you scroll while you're having a cup of coffee. For your lunch break, you can have a quick check-in. And then evening after work or dinner, when you're kind of unwinding from the day, sort of thing. If you're doing that, your audience is doing that. So the posting frequency, that's where that comes into play, because repetition is key for visibility. So I like to use a countdown method of 1 month, like, hey, we have this babysitting class coming in a month. If you're interested, register. And then 3 weeks out, you can post 2 to 3 times just saying, hey, we have this babysitting course. Did you know that you can get a full CPR certification when you take this class? And then another post can say, oh, this is being taught by a well-known instructor that's been teaching for 20 plus years. 2 weeks out, reminding them that spots are available. 1 week out, day before and day of. For the day of ones, I like to actually take a photo of me or the students being there, being like, hey, we got this babysitting class starting. Too bad you missed out, that sort of thing. Yeah, right, try next month maybe, or next year. Now we moved on to scheduling for print materials. This is something for the catalogs, so pay attention, those who want to do catalogs. We begin the process about 3 to 4 months ahead. What I mean by that is reaching out to the designer, reaching out to the business that does the printing, our local post offices and all that sort of stuff. In regards to content, I literally start that after the catalog goes out. The last catalog goes out, I start the process for the new catalog like 2 days after. Getting pictures, figuring out which classes are going to be there, making a spreadsheet so that I know what's going to be when, what the description is, if it can fit in the catalog, because you can only have so many characters, images of students and all that sort of stuff. I collect that throughout the entire time. And your instructors can as well, and even students. If they post on Facebook that they've checked in to school and they posted a picture, ask their permission. See if you can use that in the calendar or catalog. Ugh. Anyway, but the 3 to 4 months ahead of time is for figuring out your payment options, printing and mailing, and working with yourself creation of the catalog. For flyers, we suggest probably 1 to 2 months out so that you can post them where they need to be posted, and then people have enough time to really process that it's there, register, or call and ask questions. I like to post them at like Hannaford or local libraries. Oh, sorry, yes, grocery stores, because everybody goes to a grocery store. Local libraries. Yeah, sorry, I forget sometimes. Local libraries, that's a big thing for our students. They utilize that, especially in Maine where there's not a lot of access to the internet in certain locations. So just making sure to keep that in mind when you're doing all this. Like these catalogs and these flyers that we create are beautiful, but it takes time. But once you've set that kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Groundwork, there we go. Once you set that groundwork, you just copy and paste from there, the next slide is different organizational tools that we utilize. In Canva, can you wait until our question break? Sorry. In Canva, you can utilize Canva projects. That is for pro and education, but you can have folders. For specific events, you can have folders for specific campaigns that you're holding. You can have a flyer in there, but also an image in there. You can have a document in there, like a Canva document in there. You can set it up per event, per year, or categories. We also utilize Google Drive or Dropbox and Microsoft OneDrive, where anybody in our organization can grab that information. So if they don't have access to our Canva account, they can go in, grab it, and post it on their own social media, or they can print it off and give it to a student, just so it's easily accessible for everyone. All right, now we're on to the question break. Yeah, all right, go ahead.
How early do you email out your catalog before class starts?
The question is, how early do we send out the catalog? Before classes start, we like to do a really tight schedule, but probably a week or two beforehand. However, we don't do managed enrollment. We do rolling admission. So it's not a fact of, oh man, classes start next week, you gotta register and do all this now. It's, hey, classes start next week. Come in a month or two if you need to, whatever works for you. So, but just think about that when you are making a catalog. I would suggest probably like a month or two to have it out to people before your classes start if you do managed enrollment, so that they can get it, they can look at it, they can forget about it, and then find it again and look through it. Oh, really? No, there are times. Any other questions? Yes.
Talk a little bit about the photo images that you pick from Canva, because I know many of them are Getty images, they have different copyright rules.
So
Pulling those and using them.
yeah, so the question is about the images in Canva and all that, and utilizing them for your content. They're stock photos, basically. When you have an account with Canva, they have the rights to those photos. So, well, because it comes from them. So you can utilize it in their, what, go ahead.
If you look on the image, you have to see who it's from. It could be a Getty image, then you know that Getty's copyright.
Yep, but in Canva doesn't have that. Canva photos, they don't have that little Getty image thing. The photos that they have there, as far as I'm aware, every content that I've used in Canva, they don't have anything like that, because they own those photos. They have the licensing and all that sort of stuff to utilize them. But if you've seen otherwise, please let me know, because I don't want to give out false information. I don't want people to get in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble, Yes.
I just think sometimes, if you don't have the premium, they're marked that way. Like,
Yes.
not maybe with Getty images, but you can't use it, but if you have a subscription, you can use it.
So the question or the statement was basically, if you have to have a certain level of Canva account in order to utilize some of the images. But other ones are free or utilizing the free account. There's not as much, but there is some. But again, if I'm incorrect, please tell me, because again, I don't want to give out false information. Yes.
And I want to piggyback off of that statement.
Okay.
So if you are an educator, as an instructor, you can actually sign up for the freemium account. So when I was working in Canva as just a free regular user, and as you pointed out, all the content was so restricted, like, oh man, I wish I could use that. But then my instructor goes and creates one. He gets the education level, and I thought, oh my gosh, a world of possibilities just opened up. And so then he basically assigned me as a student, and then
Yep.
I was off to the races.
So the statement basically was having that educator or education level of Canva, you can utilize that as pro. So you have access to a lot more content, a lot more templates, designs, all that sort of stuff. Yes.
And if you've got the Pro account, you can translate into all sorts of languages. So we've made an ESL player, and then you can put it in easy Premier, languages you can't usually
Yeah.
get translation on.
Yes.
And to get around the photos thing, we take photos of our own students and put them on the flyers. And the reason students love it, and we're finding they're taking them home to stick them in their dining room.
Yes.
They then distribute them more than if I had a generic picture of
Yep.
Canva.
Yes. So the statement was, oh my God, I forgot the first part. Languages, thank you. That in Google, you can utilize an app if you have the pro or education account that is basically a translate. My only caveat to that is to make sure it's accurate. because I believe it takes from Google Translate, and sometimes the words might not translate Okay, but basically, just make sure that yeah, always double check anything that you make, because it might not translate appropriately, that sort of thing. Yes, yep.
If you do French, you can pick whether you want professional French or you want like casual
Oh,
everyday
cool.
French. Or
Yeah.
you've got like 5 different options of the style of language you want.
Oh, so then, so the statement was that you can pick a specific level of language and all that if you want a professional, or something like that. And then the second part of your statement was in regards to the pictures, yes. Utilizing your own pictures is much better than using stock photos, because people know it's stock photos because they're professionally done. And you can't get that connection with people if it's a stock photo, because they want to see, their friends and family, their neighbors, community members. I used to have, I had a student who would come in and be like, hey, have you used my picture yet? I'm like, oh yeah, don't worry. I'll email you and let you know when I use your picture. And one time I put her on Facebook for, I can't remember for what particular, well, probably a testimonial, yeah. And I sent her an email to let her know. And she shared that, she printed it off, she passed it out to her friends at the local community center that she attends. She's like, guys, I'm famous, Yeah, Facebook famous. Okay, we'll take one more. Oh, geez. Okay, yeah, we'll take one more question and then we'll move on to the hands-on activity.
So for Facebook, so you said tag as many people, so actual tagging, but now the hashtags at the bottom, would you limit it to 5 or less for hashtags?
Yes,
And please tell me why, because I know that that's a rule, but I didn't know what the rule was.
It's kind of
For Facebook, not for Instagram, but for Facebook.
use the mic, use the mic. Ursula, the mic. Yeah. Hold on, the question was about hashtags and utilizing them on Facebook in comparison to Instagram and how many.
Yeah, so it's kind of like casting out a wide net. It can be good, but if you're just searching for a specific thing, a certain type of student, you're just going to want to use, sorry to keep talking about fishing, but you're going to want to use the bait that they like. You're gonna want to use stuff that connects with them, and so and it might. This is why I struggle in public speaking, but if you use all of it, it may not reach those exact type of people. It may go
Does it
out
look
way
like
too
you're just
much.
trying to sell to them if you have like a nice Facebook post and then you have 20 hashtags?
It's just a
Because
little
it's-
much.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
think about it this way too. Have you all heard of the KISS method? Yeah, keep it simple, stupid. Sorry, keep it simple, and then the other S. Take that into marketing consideration as well. We talked about utilizing negative space. You don't have to fill every nook and cranny with stuff, making nice images and all that sort of jazz. It becomes overwhelming for people, and if you see 20 hashtags, I can honestly say, I'm like, nope, keep going. Yeah, keep going. That's just me personally, but if it becomes overwhelming, they're not gonna want to engage. So again, the KISS method. All right, any other questions before we move on to the hands-on portion? Nope, anything in the chat? Okay, let's see how the technology will work. All right, so, hold on, I need to get into this.
As Courtney's doing that, you will see that we've created this presentation within Canva.
I want to share my screen. This one. Okay, and share. There we go. Okay, perfect. So, as you can see, like Ursula said, we created this in Canva. I'm going to show you what my account looks like, and then we'll go from there. So let's go home to the home page. Welcome to my Canva page. So it might be overwhelming to you guys, but to me, it's organized. Yeah. And then if you look in the top right corner, you'll see it says Spruce Mountain, Courtney Nishu. That's where all the accounts are that I have access to. So let's scroll through and see what we have available. Move this down a little bit. Okay, so I have access to my school team. I am access to Ashley, her team account, my personal free account, the business I'm working on, let's not look at that. The school, the K through 12 system, I'm a part of that school team. And then I'm a part of Shirley's as well. And then on my laptop, I also have access to a whole different account because I'm part of the Chamber of Commerce, our local Chamber of Commerce. So they have a Canva account, and I can switch from my account as at cmishu at rsu73.com to the chamber as a J Livermore Falls at jllf.org, whatever. Anyway, you can swap and switch and all that sort of stuff. My only thing with that is do not log out because you have to go through that entire logging in process all over again. It is just messy. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the free. I'll show you education. Nope, I will show you free. And then if you have questions, I'll be happy to answer them in regards to education. All right, let me show you the free one. So when you log in and all that sort of stuff, this is what would pop up. And if it works, maybe. It might not because internet. But basically, it is a clean slate. There's no content in there. Oh, no, okay. Yep, we'll get there eventually. So this is what it'll look like when you sign into an account and all that sort of stuff. So we are gonna see we have a button at the top left where it says create a design. Then you have all of these options on how or what you wanna make. So we will utilize that KISS method and click Facebook post landscape. As you can see, there's some numbers. It says 940x788px. Basically, the what? Oh, yeah. So basically, those numbers are basically saying this is the correct size for a Facebook post. But if you utilize this image on Instagram, it will cut things off because it's not the same size. And we'll get into all that. Well, maybe not. You can email us if you have questions. We can get more into it another time.
Real quick, I have a question from our virtual audience. They wanted to know if we talked about font considerations, which we did. And Carrie also asked, does Canva check for accessibility issues? So yes, it does. It's under, you don't have to show, but it's under file, and it will check accessibility issues for reading, people being able to read it, and if there needs to be any information about the image within it.
So here we are, clean slate. We're gonna work on a babysitting Facebook post. So again, we don't wanna reinvent the wheel. You can if you want, but we're not gonna at this time. We're gonna come up to the top corner, click on designs. This is basically where you can get templates, already made content, and you can just throw your stuff in if you choose. Now, you can see some of them have this little crown right here. Again, this is the free account. The little crown means that you can't access it because only people who have a pro account or education account can access. Yes, in the back. Yes, I am with the,
I am too. In Kansas, we learn only K through 12 educators get the education account. If you're an educator in a college, it doesn't do the free account or the free educator account.
interesting. So our adult ed is attached to the K through 12 system.
So it's ours.
Yes.
So most of my peers in Kansas
Yep.
can't get the free educator account for their community account.
Yes. So, oh, go ahead.
I think you can get like a discounted premium price though, as an educator. I think you have to reach out to them or whatever, but I think that's how we do it with our program.
Okay, so the statement basically was if you don't have a school system that's attached to the K through 12, you would not be eligible for the education or free account. And then somebody else's statement was, it depends, you have to reach out and you might get a discount for that account and everything. So, any other statements or comments with the different levels? My suggestion too, it's worth the price to get the pro account. It's not very expensive because you can pay like one lump sum and it goes for the year. If you're going to utilize content, or utilize Canva in multiple ways, get the pro account. Don't fall for the Teams account. Yes, I said that, and I will die on this hill. Do not, because the Teams account, it says $100 per person, but then at the bottom, the very bottom, it says minimum of 3 users. So that's $300. We're in education. I don't know if y'all can afford that, but I can't. So anyway, I digress. So in the long run, get the pro account if you can. Or get reimbursed from your program, that too, because even with marketing, you can also do class work. You can create worksheets. You can create a presentation. Canva also has like tutorials and all that sort of stuff that people can use for graphic design as well. Anyway, sorry, I digress. I just love talking about Canva. Oh my gosh, we only have a few more minutes. So we won't get into the nitty gritty, but basically you click on an image or the layout design that you want, and it'll pop up. And then you have access and are able to change information. So you can hover over here. You see how this particular spot is highlighted. That means I can go in, click on it, and change the wording. Hello, friends. Or babysitting class, whatever you choose. You can take out the images as well. There we go. So you just delete the image, you throw in what you already have, which is over here in your uploads. You can, oh wow, I have stuff in here. Ugh. Anyway, that's embarrassing. I was gonna say, this is my child, so I can show her if I want. So you can, thank you, yes, she's adorable, I love her. So you can click on an image, and then if you click and drag into this particular frame, it'll set it into that frame. And now you see, like, it's not sized appropriately, it's not shaped right. You double click into the image, and then you can fix it from there. You can crop it, you can move it from side to side. Here's a marketing hack for you all. If you have a frame that's vertical, but you have a horizontal image, and you don't have that many photos, put that horizontal image in the vertical one, move it so it's on one side, use that same image, and then put it in the vertical thing and move it to the other side. That's 2 different photos out of 1 photo. Yes, yes, right? Yes, I just love those little hacks. Anyway, another thing, oh, we got like a minute, I'm so sorry. Another cool thing, when you come up to the share button at the top, if you click into that, you can download the image, you can copy the link and send it to people who want to edit it or make comments, that sort of stuff. If you click on download, you have multiple options depending on what you're working on of the file type. So as you can see, there's many options available. You see the little crown again, that's gonna follow you and restrict what you can and can't utilize. But you can download it and throw it up on your website. And if that particular file type doesn't work, you can download it again, change the file type. You can do the size. There's so many different things. And unfortunately, we don't have enough time to go over it. But as mentioned before, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, reach out to Ursula and myself. We are happy to help. As you can tell, we love Canva and we want to help spread the word about adult ed. So thank you so much. 5 o'clock, all right.